Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us again for another series. This one is specifically about lead and revenue attribution. This is a topic that comes up a lot with our clients on how they can correctly report on where their leads are coming from, where their revenue is coming from, and relate that back to the efforts that they're making. So we've decided to do a little series that's going to build on some of the information that we've learned over the years about attribution, how to do it in HubSpot, and all the tricks and ideas we have about how to make the most out of that. So today on this one, I've got Guy from our HubSpot implementation team, and he's going to be taking us through just a bit of a guide as how things work in HubSpot around attribution.
That's perfect. Thank you, James. Good morning, everyone. Today we have something to show you about the attribution, and there's a lot to cover on this topic. There's a lot of different configurations and different setups, and from the first start, from the first contact getting created into your account to reporting this to your company or your team. So let's getting started. Let's getting started now to show you what we have for today. So today we wanted to talk about this particular topic, lead and revenue attribution, because a lot of people have a different idea of what HubSpot has. And sometimes we see that people make a few little mistakes, and this could impact a lot in the reporting in the end of the month, at the end of the week, or whenever you report. But there are some cases that you may even lose or not record some data at all. So we're going to try to help you understanding what are the basic configurations for HubSpot, how to do them, and how to get your account ready to recollect and register every single piece of information that is possible to register within a contact and visiting your website, or having different interactions between this contact and your team. It can be your sales team, it can be your customer success team, but it's nice to have every piece of information recorded well, so you can analyze them in the future. Okay. First thing, I think it's the most basic thing that we should do here is understand what is the attribution for HubSpot and for everyone, in fact. So HubSpot's product team has a nice phrase that they have, that they define what is attribution, especially inside the platform, which is attribution surfaces which interactions a person or a group of people took along their journey toward a desired outcome or a conversion point. So translating that phrase into our day-to-day work inside HubSpot, it will be that HubSpot has the ability to understand where your lead came from, or which of your marketing efforts are the ones that are bringing more results towards a particular campaign or a particular strategy, such as converting people in a landing page or becoming customers as well and buying your product at the end of the day. So when you map when this lead, when this contact, or when this customer came from, you can understand that your marketing efforts are bringing money, are bringing clients, are bringing revenue. It's important to understand because a lot of times we think that something is working. We think that we have a nice landing page and it was built beautifully and it looks nice, but sometimes it doesn't convert, but we don't know it if we don't measure this. So we need to understand that 100%, or at most, the most we can, if that particular campaign, ad, social post, blog post, or web page or landing page, are they driving traffic to the website? This is the first question we should ask, because this is the first interaction that people will have that will lead them to get to know your company, your service, and to visit your website. This is important. And that's why the marketing attribution will take care of a lot of different channels inside HubSpot, such as the chat, the live chat, could be the bot as well. Emails back and forth with someone, social ads, social publications, they can be organic positioning in Google or any other search engine, You can have it as well as a different channel for you. Could be your own website, different landing pages, and referrals. A good lead can come from a partner from yours, for example. It can come from a different website and land into your web page. It's important to know how this happens. And especially inside HubSpot, they have this very, very nice feature, which is called campaigns, which is not only the idea of a marketing campaign as a whole, is a feature that you can use to track your campaigns. You can track and compare between campaigns. We're going to cover about the Marketing Hub in these campaigns in another webinar. But what you need to understand here is that if you have a campaign about a 30% discount on summer, for example, and you're using email marketing, SMS, sending, you have 3 different landing pages for 3 different targets. You can map them all into one single campaign and understand which of these assets people saw and clicked and interacted before visiting your website and converting into a lead. So why is marketing attribution important? I mean, for everyone, it is literally 100% for everybody, every single company. It is a very good way, and it's the most important way we have of understanding. We need to understand what goes on with our contacts, with our users, with our efforts, within our website, within our strategies. So knowing the most valuable marketing channels is not only important to report to your bosses, it's very important to understand which of the efforts you have to focus on to drive more revenue for the company. Okay. For example, link marketing tactics to ROI, and CLV, which is the customer lifetime value and the return on the investment. So if you can tie your efforts directly to revenue and say, this particular campaign or this particular email marketing is making us money, then this is important to understand and try to replicate it and try to make it even better and try to keep things the way they're going, and of course improving it the way you can. Tracking new initiatives as well. So if your team has an idea, a nice idea, and you can put it in place, and you will understand if it's working, how it was planned or not. Maybe if everyone says, oh, this is the best campaign we've ever created, but at the end of the month, you look at it and say, oh, this is the worst page in terms of numbers of visitors and numbers of leads converted that we have ever created. So it's important to understand and not being just the guessing side, okay? Whether you change strategy or even to find patterns. I mean, you can see that why every single Sunday when we publish something on social media, we get as double as leads as any other day of the week. And you can see this in your reports, and you can understand, try to understand why does this happen, which contents are generating this particular behavior from the customers. And this is what will drive you towards a very solid strategy to make even more conversions, have even more conversions and generating more contacts into your account. James, so far, you have any questions or any comments that people may be interested?
That's all very good so far. I mean, I do find this attribution quite a powerful channel for like proving the value that a marketing team has. I mean, let's say you're in a situation where you've got different deals closing through HubSpot sales pipeline. It's very easy for the sales team and the sales leaders to look at that and say, okay, well, this person was responsible for bringing this revenue into the business. Whereas with marketing is of course fueling the leads that's allowing the sales team to close and to close business for the organization. So by having this kind of reporting in place, at least in some kind of form, it really can show the value that the marketing team is having within the organization. And also, to your point, Ski, it shows where that specific value is coming from, so that we can target budget and improve and focus on those areas that really are successful. So highly valuable data that can be used to make strong data-driven decisions and prove worth for everything we're doing with marketing.
100%. Yes, thank you for that, James. This is a particular point that a lot of teams may forget to make this link between them, which is the sales and marketing teams. Marketing can make a huge effort to try to bring customers and revenue, but it's very important that this data, that this information is available to the sales team as well, because it's very different if you talk to someone that needs for example, that is making an impulsive buy. Okay, this person saw an ad, he got interested, and he just wants to click and purchase. But what if you have a different type of product, the one that you cannot buy out of impulse? You have to think about it. You have to understand how to use it. And you make this a very interesting campaign. People click on it, leave their email, leave their names. But when they get to the sales team doesn't understand why they're there. I mean, what drove them there? So it's going to be a little bit of an odd and odd conversation with the sales team, asking them information that they should have already known. So this types of informs is valuable, not only for marketing teams, but sales as well. And what kinds of interactions, of what kinds of things that users can do that they may end up in your website? I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with HubSpot or without HubSpot, but HubSpot tracks a few different interactions types in the account. Okay, most of them are 100% automatic. You will not have any trouble setting them up because they will try to gather the information as soon as you have either the HubSpot code implemented into your website or you have the HubSpot website built in HubSpot's CMS. Okay, so HubSpot will track not only the page views, but a very different set of behaviors from users that we're going to cover right now. As for example, ad clicks. Excuse me. Ad clicks will be tracked by HubSpot as long as you're promoting your product or your service within Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or using Google Ads, which means it also works for YouTube ads as well. Okay, if you're adding in these platforms and whenever someone clicks in an ad of yours and gets directly to the website, you will know. And you will know, and HubSpot will have this information, whether it's the first time this user visits your website or whether it's the 10th time, it doesn't matter. HubSpot will gather this information and record it into your account. All you have to do is connect any of these these ad platforms, which is Meta with Facebook and Instagram, or Instagram. You don't need to use both, LinkedIn or Google. Okay, Google Ads. And HubSpot is very easy to find it. You can go right here on your upper menu in marketing. You should go to ads. Okay, this is the part that you will be able to connect any of these platforms I just mentioned. And by doing this, you will harness this power of understanding if someone clicked or interacted with an ad and got directly to your website. So what happens if this person sees an ad, clicks, visits your website, and then, I don't know, later in the day, they say, okay, that was nice. I liked it a lot. And they open your landing page again and they say, okay, I'll leave my email, my number, my telephone number, and my first names and last names or whatever you ask in your forms because they got interested. And at some point, our sales team will reach this user and will ask them how are they and what they would need, and especially try to start this conversation, this sales process. And if it happens that this user becomes a customer, you will see in the ads part, that it will be a part of the ROI. So HubSpot can understand that this particular ad drove you revenue because it was because of this ad that this person got created in the first time in your account and saw your website and product. The same thing will happen with organic or paid interactions. Okay, so you can have, for example, social, paid or organic interactions, and it will also lead to a very detailed reporting on what drives your revenue and what not. Another set of interaction types are closely related to user interaction, which is conversations and calls and everything that needs to be tracked within a human interaction. So a call connected from HubSpot, it's literally when you have a call with a user, with your contact. Okay, but bear one thing in mind. This call can only be recorded, can only be used in attribution reports if you have your number connected to HubSpot. So that means that this call should be taken or made by the HubSpot software within your web browser, your preferred web browser, or the HubSpot's app in your phone. Okay, if it goes through any of these channels, the call will be not only recorded, but the call will be set to be an attribution point for your customer journey, and you will see. You will see that it will be a part of the revenue as well in the end of the day. That is quite the same with chatbot and conversations. So whenever you're having one-to-one emails with your prospect, or when someone gets into your website and start talking to you through your chatbot, you will get a recording from this as well, and you will track that this was the channel that created the contact, for example, or this could be the channel that closed the deal, that helped you close the deal. This is a very important thing to do, to map as well, not only just the first interaction. You need to map all of the interactions along the way until this person is a client. So within HubSpot, a CTA interaction, it will be tracked as well. Customer behavioral events too. So if you have custom events, for example, downloading something in a specific web page that you had to code to understand it, or different types of events that you can track, a click in an element of your web page. If someone is clicking inside one of your pages in a specific part, you can track them all, and they get translated into custom behavioral events. The form submissions is one of the most common ones. I think everybody understands what happens, that when someone submits a form, it gets created into HubSpot, and we all know, we all see this tracking very, very often in our account. Marketing email as well. I mean, it's been a few years now that marketing emails are getting harder and harder to track, but HubSpot, it's not even inside this conversation of whether a customer opened or not an email. We still have this metric, but HubSpot informs us that this is not a particularly precise metric, because there are some devices in some computers, some phones, some operational systems that will block this information, and we will not know whether this person opened or not an email. But we can know if they clicked within an email. So if you have a CTA, a link, a button inside your email, we will get this tracked as well and understand if it helped drive revenue to your company. Such as events, for example. If someone registered for this particular webinar that we're having now, we would know. And we also would know if this person got into the webinar. So this is a nice thing to have. You can track registrations, you can track attendance from any particular events, online events that you have, and offline as well. Okay, now there's a very nice configuration that we can have, so we can import people from an offline event, for example, and understand that they came from an event. We're going to cover this in the future, these custom configurations to tweak a little and maybe a lot of your HubSpot account to understand better the attribution. But for now, we're going to keep on these ones here, which are the ones that comes out of the box with HubSpot, and everybody can use them to build better reports and understand what they're doing. So the typical ones, which are page views, we can understand how many page views someone had. You can usually see this inside any contact, and we can see, for example, let me see my own. This is where it appears, okay, in website activity. And you can see whatever, how many times someone got into a website and when was the last time as well. So these are two metrics that are very, very easy to see in here, but they get a lot more detailed in the attribution reports, which is something that we are going to cover as well in the future with details, because the attribution reports, they have a lot of details, and we're going to try to tell you as well whether to choose one type of another of reports, which one is best for your company, which one is best for different types of businesses. Okay. And for now, one thing that we have here on last bullet, which are the video views. This is something that is relatively new in HubSpot. It got better over the last months. Is that you can have a very precise tracking of your videos in your website. There's only one thing that you need to keep in mind. These videos will be tracked, the information will be tracked as long as they are uploaded into your HubSpot account. It cannot be an URL, you cannot embed a video in one of your pages. That if you do this, you will only see this information in your analytics tools, such as Google Analytics, for example, or if a video came from Vimeo or YouTube, you will be able to see there what happened. But if you upload this video to your HubSpot account and use it in your web page, first, you will get a very nice loading time in your page. And also, you will get all of the information that HubSpot can give you, whether your contact watched the video or not. So this is important to note that this is one of the requirements to have this information. There's another thing that is really, really, really important in HubSpot, and it's the interaction sources. A lot of people struggle with interaction sources, to understand them, to have them right in the account. And we have a few tips for you to harness all of the information that HubSpot can get you by doing simple decisions, by making simple decisions in your account, so you can get all of the information and have it tracked in your account. Okay, so these are typical interaction sources. These are the ones that will come with your HubSpot account and that will help you understand a lot from your users and their customer journey. So starting from organic search, for example, this is on a very common one on the top of these sources in HubSpot. You will always see this one, because this will map whether someone Googled or banged or used any other search engine to find your website or your landing page or your blog. Okay, so if anyone can find you through a HubSpot, through a search engine search, they will be mapped here. A few years ago, we were able to see which keywords they were using. Okay, for example, they could be using best agency for HubSpot partner agency, and they could find us HubSpot in there. and we would see what they typed or what they searched for. Now this is getting really rare. Okay, this is for everybody. This is something that is happening all over the world. There is some privacy issues in there. It's not, I wouldn't call them issues as well. It's just some regulations that now every company needs to follow, and especially the search engines, they do follow as well. So we don't see too much of this information anymore, but we can see that they searched for us organically. And this can give us a lot of information. For example, that we are being nicely ranked in search engines. So your SEO work is starting to work, or it is working well. And then you need to jump into another tools, some other tools that we have, free and paid tools, to understand you better what you're doing with SEO. But at least you will have mapped that SEO was the first contact that drove this particular user to be a contact for your company. The same thing happens with the paid search, but it gets differentiated, of course. So when someone looks, searching Google or any other search engine for, I want a marketing agency for a HubSpot account, and they find us, for example, if it's an ad, we will know that they searched for it and they found that particular ad, and that's what, and this particular ad was the one that brought this user for us and created a contact in your account. So you will understand this. From email marketing, you will also see this. So in this case here, I really like to have a pause and try to explain one thing that's very important. People always ask me, how can email marketing be an interaction source if you don't have their contact yet? And this is a very good question, because you can only send email marketing emails to people that you already have in your account and people that accepted receiving communication from your company. So how does this happen? How does we map someone as being created through an email marketing effort? One of the things that can happen in the email marketing world is that people send an email marketing they get to other people. You can just forward an email with an offer to a colleague or someone that you think that may use that offer, something that you may not, but well, your neighbor may use this. You can forward this email to them. When they open it, you will get tracked. And if they visit our website and create and send a form or something like that, we will understand that this person also opened this email marketing that we sent. Okay, this is not something that you should rely upon, okay, because as we said, privacy policies, they're getting more and more strict, they're getting more protective, so they protect the user a lot. And one of the things that is not reliable is this metric. Okay, we can see our email being forwarded and all, but we don't see every information that comes from this person that got the email. So this is here as a source because we used it mostly to understand how our contact, when this person is already in the account, is opening our email marketings, and if our email marketings are driving revenue. Okay, so please use this wisely and try to only look for the metrics that are in place when someone is already in the account. This is a very controversial topic sometimes, but it's very easy. Just try to focus on someone that you already have in the account because they gave you permission to be tracked and to receive more communication. So the social part, this is one that we should give them a little bit of attention to, because we have organic social and paid social. They are a little bit different, but they try to measure the same thing, which is your social marketing efforts. So if you're publishing anything on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, HubSpot will understand that someone saw your publication and say, oh, this is nice. And when they click it and they get to your website, or they send a form within this post, for example, you will know that it came from an organic social post or a paid social post. Why does it matter for marketing teams? We usually do have different strategies between organic and paid. And we usually need to see this information because if we're paying for ads, we at least want to know if they are driving the return that we expect, okay, of at least how much of a return they're getting us. Because if we're doing a lot better in organic and we're not too good in paid social, it's time to think, should we keep investing that much in paid social, or should we just try to do something very differently? Because if the organic's working well, that means that you're not paying for the contacts that you're getting, which means that this money that you're using for paid social posts can be used in a different way. You can still pay for social posts. It's not that thing that you need to cut them down. It's just focus it in a different way. Maybe try to pay for the organic social posts because they're working well, so you can spread them all over the internet and not relying just on your circle interactions and circle visibility. So things like this can give you a nice glance and some very good information on what your marketing efforts are bringing and what they are not. There's, on this right side, a couple of other topics that sometimes get a little bit of controversy, or at least some people debate a lot within groups or within publications. And one of them is the direct traffic. Okay, direct traffic is very simple. It's a traffic that someone either typed in their web browser, hubstart.io, or they had it saved in their favorites or in the history. So when they start typing it and the browser completes the URL and you visit the website, it gets counted as a direct traffic, which is just the way it is. Someone directly entered your website. And a lot of people, they have problems with direct traffic. Some because they may be getting too much direct traffic, some because they're not getting enough. And some people, and I would say that most people that have problems with that, they don't really understand what's going on behind this kind of traffic. Okay, this kind of traffic is a very nice one to analyze, particularly as for myself, from all of these sources, is the one that I really like to analyze the most. I really like to make double clicks on the direct traffic, because when someone woke up, opened their computer, their phone, and just wanted to visit your website, that's why I wanted to understand why. So you will need a lot of different other information to try to understand that, but at least know that someone at some point just looked at the screen and said, I want to visit that website. This is important because maybe this person had you in mind. I mean, you were in the top of her mind for some reason. So you can try to understand that. Or maybe this person just saw an ad in another screen, for example, their cell phone, and they were sitting in the computer and they said, okay, I'm just going to type it in, hubstart.io, to visit. These are different people. These are different types of interactions that will get mapped as direct traffic all along, all the same. I would recommend paying very close attention to direct traffic because it can help you understand the relationship between the searches, organic and paid, for example. If someone gets in your website through direct traffic, did they get created through direct traffic, which means they already knew about you? Or do they come into your website a lot as direct traffic, but they got created, for example, through an organic search, which was their first interaction with your website? These hints they can help you separate into different groups of people. Someone that got created, for example, through a paid search. Okay, that's an ad that brought this person to us, but this person keep coming back as direct traffic. First, this is a good thing because they're not spending our money on ads, and they just remembered us. This is a nice thing to do. So if someone keeps coming to your website repeatedly, now it's time to try to talk to this person, try to reach them out and understand what they want, what they need, if they didn't understand something from your website or your product, but try to figure out why are they getting in your website. And a lot of people see spikes in their direct traffic that they keep appearing through a few months as well. So sometimes you see that 30% of your traffic is direct. Then 40% of your traffic. Then a few months now, 50%, then 60% of your traffic is from direct traffic. If you were a blog, for example, this is a very good news. These are good news, the best news you can get, because people are coming back because they remember you. And this can happen within industries as well, different industries. If your product is a very complex service, for example, or is something that people need to open your website to use it, if you're a SaaS or SaaS, if you're an app, for example, you will want to have direct traffic, a lot of them. So understanding these needs for your company, understanding these types of user behaviors will help you understand as well what is driving revenue to your company. And the referral, I think it's pretty straightforward. When someone comes from another website, from another URL, from another domain, you will be not another URL if it's in your domain. I'm sorry about that. It's just a different domain. You will see them created as a referral. One thing to have in mind for referrals is that you will only track these referrals if the URL they're on is using a UTM. I mean, if you're tracking the URL, okay, if you're tracking that and they land into one of your pages that was either created within the HubSpot CMS or has HubSpot's tracking code, you will see it. But if you don't have the tracking code, for example, in one of your WordPress or Wix pages, and someone came into your website, of course, you will not see this referral source. Or if there is no UTM tracking, there's no URL tracking, you will also lose this information as well. And these other two, HubSpot uses a lot a lot of the things that we cannot track or understand, they will fall into other campaigns, especially. And offline sources, which a lot of HubSpot users, they kind of don't like the offline sources because it doesn't explain too much. But when you start understanding it, it does explain a lot. And if you have a track and if you know all of your marketing efforts, you will know where are they coming from, what's going on here. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet, for example, with 100 contacts from an event that you hosted in a co-work, you will upload these contacts into HubSpot and they will be mapped as offline sources. Okay, this will be their source of creation. Or if they come into your chatbot, they will be mapped as offline sources as well. So how do you make this differentiation? How do you understand whether they were created through a chatbot or through an import or an integration? Maybe sometimes brings this contact source as an offline source. Okay, you will need to try to customize your account a little bit so you understand what's going on there. Sometimes it's tagging with the property, all your imports, for example. Sometimes it's just creating different types of automation that if a customer got created like this and that, you will see, for example, that this offline source has a little bit more information. But especially HubSpot I've long ago created something that when you understand how to get this information, it will help you a lot. It is called the source drill down. Okay. The source drill down is a little bit more information from all of the sources, not only offline sources, okay? You can use them yourself, like custom them. But all of the other sources, they have kind of more detailed information, whether the within this property. So I'm going to try to show you here something. This is a very simple idea of how the source drill down works. You can have the original source, which is the source that created the contact within your account, inside your account, or you can have the latest source, which is the last thing this user did in your website or any of your channels or touch points. Okay, both of them, they will have two different types of drill downs. Oh, I'm sorry, it says two here and two, but it's one and two. So we'll have the source drill down number one and source drill down number two. Okay, both for original source and latest source. What does that mean? That means that, for example, when someone visits your website through an organic search, if it's available, and this is a big if, the keywords that this person used to search and find you in the search engine, they will be stated, they will be recorded into the drill down number one. Okay, and you will also see in which search engine they look for it. Okay, in this drill down number two. So this is how it would be in your reports. You get a contact created through an organic search. Oh, that's nice. You can understand that. And you open the drill source number one, and you see that they look for the best HubSpot partner agency in the world. And you say, oh, that's nice. I know what they're looking for. This is very helpful. And you know that they look for it, for example, in Bing, in that search engine particularly. This is nice to understand because as soon as you get more and more and more information, and you say, for example, okay, from the information that I can read and that I can have here, 60% of my users are coming from Bing, not from Google. So this is information, this is food for thought for your marketing team, so they can try to create a strategy for that. If they want to jump into the paid ads in there or whatever they can do, but within Bing, it's a nice information to have. Okay, all of the sources, they can have this drill down. So you will see a lot in the account. For example, a lot of campaign names in the drill down, a lot of different URLs for referrals, especially. If it's organic social, for example, the source that got created, you posted something on Instagram, someone went in there, you did not pay for it, someone just went in there, clicked, visit your website, sent a form, and it's now a contact. You will see that which social media site brought you this person in the source drill down number one. Okay, you will see that it was from Instagram, for example. And if you have a campaign attached to it, if you have a UTM in the URL, you will be able to see the campaign name as well. Okay, so this is very important because you cannot guarantee that you will always have this detailed information for every interaction. This is not possible, but you will have a lot of information in your hand. And I mean, a lot more than people are used to see in their HubSpot accounts. So the source drill down is a contact property that you can just jump in and try to see what's going on. For example, in my contact here, you can just jump in to see all of the properties. And you can start just type in drill down, for example, and you will see that the first time I got in this particular account was through an integration with Calendly, that software that offers meeting links. And the first one was through this one, the original source, but the latest one as well was through the source in this particular website that we had. So it was the one and only, if you can see as the way I see this. Okay, this drill down will bring you a lot of information. This drill down will detail a lot of your sources, but be careful dealing with this as well. You will not have always 100% of the information in there. So be wise when you're reporting, because you can only use what you have and you will not have 100%. But this is better than have nothing at all. Okay. And if you want to give it a try, to give it to play a little bit with the reports, HubSpot has something out of the box for you as well. So you can try visiting inside your account the reporting part on your upper menu, then reports and traffic. Okay, if you scroll down a little bit, you will be able to see something like this. All of the sources that you had, of course, mapped, in this case, by decreasing number of sessions in that particular period, but they also have different colors. So you will see that the report could be a line chart, could be a bar chart. It's usually a line one, okay, with an area. And you will see how many people came in this particular time through paid search, how many people came in this particular time through an organic search, and so on. This is very, very, very helpful to understand the full picture, but you will be able to click on every one of these sources to get a lot more information from it as well. So I would invite everyone to try to visit reporting and reports and traffic and play with it a little bit, because HubSpot will make your life easy to report. But we are also going to cover in another webinar in details a lot of attribution and lead revenue reporting. Okay, because there are a lot of things that we can help you with and give you some tips and advices, that because this is the most basic one, and we want to get to the point that you can have a lot of details from your informations. And we're getting to the end of this webinar. We have two last things to talk to you about, which is deal create and revenue attribution. Okay, we talked about marketing attribution, and you may be thinking, how do I know how much money they bring me? Okay, this is through the deals. You need to create deals for your prospects, whether they came from organic, email marketing, chatbot, or any other sources. So when a deal gets won, so you say, okay, this is a one deal, you will see now where this person came from. And a HubSpot will understand, okay, this is a one deal, $1,000 deal, for example, and you'll see how much of that Google Ads was part of, how much of that Facebook organic social post was part of, how they contributed to closing this deal. Okay, in HubSpot, we will always see this differentiation from first interaction, okay, which is the first interaction that was ever recorded in HubSpot to your contact. The lead create, which is when someone gives us this information from themselves, their life cycle stage turns into lead. So what was their last interaction before becoming a lead? To us, it's very important to know what drives them to be a lead in our account. And depending on your automation settings, depending on your sales team, sales process, you can create manually or automatically the deals, but we will see what was the last interaction this person did before getting associated with a deal, which is also important because not everybody that gets into your account, not everyone that gets created as a contact will have a deal associated to it. Maybe someone is just in your website to look for some information and okay, it's not a good fit. They can just go away. You don't need to create a deal for every single interaction a user has in your website. And of course, the most important one, I would say, which is a deal closed one. And we're going to know what happened before having this closed one deal. So was it a call with the rep? Was it a particular email? Was it an offer? Was it an ad? But we're going to try to understand what helps us close more deals and bring more money for us. Okay. But please be careful with something. If you need this information to be precisely reported, your deal needs to be in a closed one stage. Okay. This should be mapped in your pipeline. Any of the stages, you can have different names for it, but it needs to be configured as a closed one stage. You need to have at least one contact associated to it. Otherwise, it will not work. It will not bring any of the information that we just talked about. And all of these properties need to be filled with any value. It doesn't matter, but it needs to be filled, which is the amount, the create date, and the close date as well. So if HubSpot has all of this information, you will have good quality data in your reporting, and this will work to your favor. This is something that's very important because people sometimes forget one of these properties. And when at the end of the month, they will see their attribution and revenue reports, a lot of the information is blank. And most of the times, this is the reason why. Okay, so please pay close attention to this information.
Yeah, there's always a really fun one with HubSpot across the board, really. Like, my reports aren't working. Why can't I get my reports to work? Oh no, it's because X has not filled out the required information, or X hasn't actually moved their deal to the next stage, something like that. But yeah, something that always comes up for sure.
Most of the times, yes. Reports will work. So you just need to follow a couple of details to do that. For example, if you're having one-to-one emails with someone, you need to receive a reply from them so this information can get tracked. Why? This is a privacy issue. Okay, you cannot just send people email and expect HubSpot to track it. If they don't reply, which means they give the consent for this conversation to happen, it won't get tracked as well. So please, everyone, pay attention to this so you have all of the reporting power in your hands. Okay. So if you have any questions, James or anyone, this should be the time for us to talk a little bit about what we just saw.
Awesome. Thanks, Guy. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. Otherwise, I know we're pretty much at time, so we'll probably wrap this up in a couple of minutes. Okay. Well, I'll come up with one for now. So, what would you recommend, Guy, in terms of subscription tier? What will be the minimum subscription tier that you really need to be able to do proper attribution within HubSpot, either by yourself or in a standalone way?
That's a very good question as well. Having a marketing pro, at least marketing professional tier, is guaranteed that you will have high quality information. Okay, you have some informations if you have a different tier, for example, a started one. But if you have a marketing pro, you will be able to use HubSpot as the source of truth for lead, revenue, and attribution for your company. You don't need to use a lot of different analytics tools outside of that. You can focus your effort on just looking for the information that HubSpot provides. So Marketing Pro, if you have this one, you're good to go, and you will have very good reportings to run with your marketing and sales team as well.
Yeah, very good. Cool. So I think we'll leave this one here. Obviously, I know that was a lot of information to take in, but there really is a lot that you can do with HubSpot in this area to get the best use out of this data. And this is, as I said in the beginning, this is something that comes up a lot with our clients. There's a lot of different questions that come up around this about the correct ways to build reports and the how to structure them in the right way, how to input data to make sure those reports work correctly, and even how to interpret them to make best use out of them. So we're going to do probably one or two more sessions on this over the next couple of weeks or so, but those would be more focused about getting down into the details and giving you a bit of a live demo about how to actually use and build this stuff. So we'll be scheduling that fairly soon. In the meantime, though, if you do have any questions or need any help with anything to do with attribution or indeed any topic around HubSpot, then feel free to reach out to us. You can do that through hello@hubspot.io. So just drop your questions there, or if you want to have a chat with one of us, let us know, and we can schedule a call in to go through any specific stuff that you have. So with that in mind, I hope you all have a very good day, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good day, everyone.